Welcome, welcome.
Welcome, everybody.
Okay, so April and we're gonna do like 10 minutes of chats and questions on the side before we kind of show you a little bit what we have to offer. So April, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, I'm going to. So, this is the first time that I've done a poll on my Zoom
There's
meeting.
a lot of firsts today, you
So,
guys. We
yes,
said
there's a lot of
casual,
firsts.
but we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. So
First thing, we want to welcome you guys. I am so excited. This is my first ever anything like this. The only thing I've done on Zoom is my lessons. So for this is like I'm like I don't even like my makeup has worn off. This is like complete excitement.
oh, and her power went off today.
And
Just
my power did go off.
so
Yes, I was freaking out a little bit, but it's good. We're back on. I want to just start off by asking everybody, what do we have for snacks and beverages? And like, do we have anything with us tonight? Anyway, I've got my glass of wine, but I will not be partaking until after this is all over. Okay, so let me see if I can launch this poll.
Ooh, it comes up in the middle.
All right, so you guys can see it. Um, so our first question is, how long have you been teaching? Right? So there's a bunch of different categories that I've input. Maybe you're brand new. Maybe you've been teaching for 15, 20 plus years. Oops, sorry, Tara. And so, yeah, we can just fill in that poll. Love it.
Okay, so you see what's going on, do you?
I do see what's
Okay, I
going
don't.
on.
I clicked probably as a.
No, it's awesome, right? So we've got a bunch of different people in every category. I would say the majority is around 10 to 15 years. So that's
Oh,
fantastic. And then does every question come up?
I see all the questions.
Okay, perfect. Second question is, do you teach theory? Yes, very important. Absolutely. Yay! I agree. Yeah, all about the theory. What theory books do we use? So we've got RCM or other. Now, if there is other curriculums that you use, feel free to put them in the chat, right? Because we want to just see and get an idea of the different books that everybody's using. Quite a few make their own, which is fantastic. Good for you guys. That's awesome. Like Tara does. That's great. And then some of you are looking for more options there. And then, yes, to use games to reinforce theory concepts. Now, what about, have you increased your game usage going online? I know I have, like 100%. A lot of the boom cards, even a lot of the stuff from Wonder Keys, and just I've really upped my games whenever it
I've
comes to my
upped my games
online.
in general, even before COVID. Like, I always made piano fun. I don't somehow maybe it's just my personality. I don't know, but like I actually started creating games and incorporating more games and not being afraid to be off bench. And I always was so scared because like I would teach in houses and I was so scared that the parents were like, "Oh my God, you're not at the piano. Like, you're not learning. My child's not learning." I was so scared of that. But the games are just amazing and great way to break things up. I'm seeing a lot of head nods. Christina's head nodding a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yes,
Yeah,
more
so
games.
we've got Faber, Sarnecki. Yeah, really great.
Awesome. Yay.
Awesome, awesome. All right, well, thanks, guys. So that was the few little questions that I had for our poll. Okay, so I'm going to end that.
Using less games since COVID. Okay, Pat.
Perfect.
Okay, but if you're doing online, boom cards is the way.
Boom cards have been a lifesaver for especially a lot of my younger students, I find. It just really breaks up the lesson where they just get sick of sitting at the piano for a whole 30 minutes or whatever it may be. So it's then they come to the computer, right? And then they're right there and then we're playing the game. And anyway, yeah, it's been great. Definitely a lifesaver.
This is kind of how it started because April bought so many of my boom cards. And so I like emailed her. I'm like, thank you so much for the support. Like, obviously means so much to me. And then I knew she always did something with theory. Like, I always saw her post, like, but I didn't know exactly what it was. And anyway, this is how this all came about over boom cards.
Yeah.
And now she's making her own. I'm so excited.
Now I have made my own. Yes, it's fairly addicting for those of you that have dabbled in it. Fairly time consuming, but fairly addicting.
But like, it's amazing because you can really adapt to your style of teaching, you know? And I know we all have different styles. And anyway, I will be talking about boom cards. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Should I start?
Yeah, I think so.
So I am attempting Canva slides presenter view. I've never done this, so bear with me. There's gonna be like maybe trial and error. We will see. So this is, you guys see all that, right? Big screen.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't see the chat, so if there are questions that you think I should answer right away, April, let me know.
I will. I'll keep an eye on the chat.
Awesome. Okay. But I'll be in and out of this presenter view because I have links in my thing and I want to show you guys my theory book and all that stuff. Okay. Welcome. We already covered that. Let's just keep going. Okay. Hello. For those of you who don't know me, I am Tara. Yes, it's pronounced Tara, not Tara. Guitar, star, whatever helps you remember. This is the boring slide. No one really cares about this. I'm just going to share a couple of stuff, but the next slide is way more fun. So I'm born and raised near San Francisco, California. I was born in, I live in San Rafael. Now I live in Nevada. I bought a home with Matt like 3 years ago, which is a little bit more up north. Started piano when I was 4. I was always obsessed. I'd go over to my neighbor's house who gave voice lessons, and between her students, I'd run to the piano and like imitate what she would do. And she's like, Audrey, talking to my mom, you need to get her in lessons. She's like, what are you talking about? Tara's never played piano. She's like, no, you need to. Anyway, so that's how that started. I started teaching when I was 14. Did not know what I was doing, was terrified, and I would have loved my method back then, but it has developed to what it is now. I went to a French school. I speak French fluently. Lycée Français de San Francisco. It was called Lycée Français d'Appel, but they changed it. I love languages. Teaching myself Italian. I don't think I have reached 800 days straight. I'm almost there with the Duolingo. These are just like side fun facts, whatever. Spent my childhood in France at my great grandmother's house. So my whole mom's side of the family lives in France. So I used to go there every summer. When I was young, my mom would just ship my brother off and I. So now it's every other year to see my grandma and my whole family. When it comes to piano, studied at the San Francisco Conservatory from age 16 to 18. It was the preparatory division. I did not get in when I applied, which probably was a better thing because it was really close to home and I love my family, and it was probably better that I am a little further away. So I got into Chapman, which I loved. It was amazing, perfect for me. Studied music therapy. And in music therapy, so it's half psychology, half music. But they have you try all these populations and they're like, you have to do geriatrics, you have to do hospice and this and that. And I'm like, I know what I want to do. I want to do kids. Like, just put me with kids. And they'd be like, no, you have to try all that. I'm like, ugh. No one knew more what I wanted than it was kids. Like, just leave me alone. I know what I want. And then another side fact. Okay, I own my own music school here, but Cascade method is like literally where my heart is now. Like, that's how I want to reach more teachers that in turn will reach more kids. So there's the boring slide. Here is, oh yes, I'm going to address this and not get emotional. Those that don't know what happened. So I lost my husband in October. So I'm dealing with all of that. It's been a lot. I am pregnant, as maybe some of you saw at the beginning. This big belly, I am due in 7 weeks. So that has been holding me. I've always wanted a big family. Anyway, so that's a lot to handle, but I know he's proud of me. Okay, here's the fun slide. It has nothing to do with theory, but this literally just sums me up. What I like, it's really more of what I love, like pink glitter, hearts. I love the sun, dresses, high heels. I have cats. I love cats. I'm a cat person. Hashtag mom life. I've got a kiddo. Another one. I love love. I love shopping at all these places because I love a good deal. I don't pay for expensive things. I like, well, some things, but this, like, I just love going in there for $100. You walk out with like a million bags and a million things and like a million candles and all that stuff. So yeah, this kind of sums me up. Oh yeah, on the side, The Bachelorette and Judge Judy. Matt always asks, so if I had to choose between both those shows, like what would I pick? And I was like, you can't do that. Like, I just love them both equally. Like Judge Judy just cracks me up. There's no mercy. And then I love love. So then the whole Bachelorette thing and the drama is just over a glass of wine. That's perfect night. Okay. Next. Okay. The theory book. Now we're getting into it. So I'm going to, I'm not going to flip through like this. I'm just going to share. So I'm going to stop this and then share again, but I'm sharing the white. I'll share. How do I? Basic. Here it comes. This. Okay. So this is my theory book. So I actually started when I came back from Chapman and came back up here where I live now. In 2010, I started teaching, and then within a year, I had over 45 students. I was teaching 7 days a week. It was literally nuts. But I started in my students' notebooks. I do these grids for like scales and chords and stuff. And I was doing the same thing in all of their notebooks. So I was like, okay, I really need to start putting it into something. So I built my original book in Microsoft Words. My brother thought I was crazy. And he's like, you need to learn how to do Photoshop. So I did. 6 years later, I finally got it on Amazon. So here, I'm just going to scroll through just so you guys can see what it looks like inside. Very colorful. Obviously, there's a little bit of a sea theme you'll see. And I mean, it goes from like such beginner to you could pretty like late intermediate, I'd say. My piano, so for little kids, note dictionaries, where they can put all their notes so they can come back to it. But now I have Note Match, so I use Note Match. Staff vocabulary, musical terms, tempo, rhythm, dynamics, music sentences like face or that kind of thing, or order of flats, order of sharps, that kind of stuff, circle of fifths. Then we get into the chords. I think if you guys know me, you know I love chords. Lots of chord things. Augmented, diminished, seventh chords, love these too. Inversions, and then so a lot of times you'll see like inversions 1 and then inversions 2 or chords 1, chords 2. So it's like the ones are the easier pages and the 2 gets into the harder ones. So and then advanced inversions, this is just like it's arpeggios and it's arpeggios. It gets fancy. You could do it like hands together, blocked. Anyway, inversions 2, scales. So the scales is double pages. So on the left is where the kids will color if they learn a scale, and on the right is where they write it out. So this book is really about like instant reward. When they learn a concept, right away they get to color something, and then they're like, oh my gosh, like, okay, I need to do this other one because I need to color. They just want to color. Okay. So I have all the scales. Actually I don't have modes, but major scales, here are the ones that start on black keys. The major scales one is like C major, D major, E major, all the ones that start on the white keys. Natural minor scales, and then the harder natural minor scales, I got harmonic scales, melodic scales. So they always write it out on the side. So they always have their answers in the book. Melodic, no, chord progressions. I love writing music. I have like music on Spotify and working on my 5th album. So I'm comfortable with improv and composing, but understanding all of these concepts can help a student do that. And you too. Like if you go through my program, like it will help you. Chord progressions, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. I love the little baby whales. Here's interval section. And then like kind of like worksheets on intervals. And then interval index. This is for ear training. This looks like gibberish. Like you guys are like, what the heck do you do here? And I will get to that. But there's a reason for that. Harmonic ear training, melodic ear training, scale degrees. You got little places for sight reading. Staff paper, we always need a little bit of extra staff paper hanging around, so it's there for you. And then improvisation. So when they can improv in a certain key, they get to color a shape. Obviously, the goal is for them to be able to improv in all the keys. And the time chart, kids love being timed. I time them for everything. And so we keep track in the back of the book. And that is the theory book. Okay.
There's a question that came through, Tara. Do you have an example to show of the scales written out?
Yes, I have an online example later in the presentation, so that will get covered. Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's go. Yes, no, don't save. Okay, now let's go back to, oh, Kelly made it. Hi, her son's like in a concert thing right now. Maybe she's just peeking. Okay. And we're back. Okay, so we peeked inside. I'm gonna exit out anyway again. This is Jeremy. Jeremy has been, this is like, I think he's 7 here. He started with me when he's 5. He is now 17, teaches for my school and everything. But I do want to show you guys the chord rolls. So the chords page that I showed you guys, there is, here, let me stop share. There, I do 3 things. I do what I call chord rolls, mega chord rolls, and chord stealing. Literally all it is an arpeggio. That's your chord roll. Here's mega chord rolls over like 2 or 4 octaves. And then chord stealing, let me switch, I'll do C minor. Anyway, so I'll get into why I do that, but the kids love chord rolls, like, and it's to build like finger dexterity and get their fingers moving and all that stuff. So here's Jeremy when he was, where is it? 7. Okay, whenever you're ready. It's messy, but we don't care. And his little look back like, did you see that? Did you see how fast I did that? Like, so cute. Obviously was not perfect, didn't hit all the notes. We don't care. Kids just, kids literally just want to play fast and feel cool. And if that's, I will let them. I don't care if it's not perfect. Because you want to know where we're at right now? It's crazy. Okay, let me go back to just learning this whole slide thing. Here. This is us now. He is 17. He's learning Hungarian Rhapsody #2 by Liszt. Like the kind of song that I have to sit down and work. Like I've learned it, but never really perfected it. So this is my excuse to maybe perfect it. Yesterday, we finished the whole first section, got all the notes, like crazy. It's anyway. And I started theory with him really young, and those chord rolls got him to play. So, okay, that's Jeremy. Betsy, she is in my course. Okay, I'm just gonna read. Hi, Tara, just enough to say that I love the chord rolls. Now, most of my students already know them as arpeggios, yes, but the different name is really cool. My beginner students can even handle them. Yay, I wait till the 3rd or 4th lesson, of course. I wanna make sure that they are familiar with the keys, and we go for it. My students are so impressed with themselves. It is a really good motivator too. Anyway, just had to share a note. That's about it. Just had to say I love the chord rolls. Okay, I get so many teachers that tell me that they love the chord rolls. Yes, it's arpeggios, but the name is cool. Okay, here's Betsy again. So actually, Betsy had some family issues, and she was teaching throughout school and completely stopped teaching and had to start back from scratch. And within 1 month, she had 26 students. And I was like, do you use my method? Like, do you use Cascade method? And she's like, this was what she answered. Hey, Tart, yes, I use Cascade. It has been a game changer. And like, I say this, but there's no weight if I say it. Of course, I love it because I made it. But especially the theory book. My students love the chord rolls. If we're working on a hard song with note reading, I switch to chord rolls. If we need a break, she uses them as a warm up. We switch to the beginner song book, another one of my books. Anyway, she loves the chord rolls. And here, see, I'm holding steady with 26 students. Back to theory book. I have a very advanced student. I call him my whiz kid. He can play Bach conventions by memory. I didn't start him out. He basically taught himself. He's amazing. We were looking at the harmonic and melodic scales today, like in my book. And there's a reason I'm bringing this up, and I'll say it in a second. It keeps him engaged. I appreciate your answers for the book. I give answers to my whole book. I was brave and tried teaching the C chord roll to my 6-year-old student. Okay, so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because my theory book, it's not like sequential. Like, you don't have to go from A to Z. Like, you can jump around and it just fits and meets the student where they're at. So if you get an advanced student, you don't have to do all the beginner stuff. Like, you just go straight to the more complicated things, right? Sorry, I'm talking so fast. I just know we are on time crunch and I have so much to say. Okay, this is Jonah. He is also 17. Jonah and Jeremy are really good friends. Started when he was 5. This was his first recital in 2011. One of his pieces was a C major scale. He was very proud to play a C major scale. I won't go in and play it, but like, it's all in the presentation and how you, like, it's all in how you present, right? So I make their like, oh my God, we're learning a scale. This is the greatest thing ever. Oh, and then he wanted to play that for the recital. Yes, please. And where we are now, this is December. He played Claire de Lune. I won't click the link, but he's amazing. Okay, this is why I love my book. Obviously, I'm biased, but colorful, cute, fun, inviting, as you obviously saw. All my cute little sea animals. Like, it's evolved. If you see the previous slides, a lot of my kids have my old book, and it's just like weird shapes. And then my brother's like, you should have something consistent. So that's why I did that. Now it's all sea themed. Again, meet any student where they're at. So if you have like beginner students, you can obviously take them and do all the easy things. And then if you have someone that's more advanced, then you just go straight to the hard stuff. The age range, I would say you could start that book at 5. And all of my students stay with me till they're 18 and they go off to college. Then they just have their theory book and all the answers in one place. Oh yeah, here, the only book I use for kids from age 5 to 18, and all in one place. Like, I don't like having a million books and not knowing where to look and everything. And I just love just knowing I have one place to go find all my answers. If I'm gonna write a song or whatever, if a kid is gonna write a song, they know to go find where the scale is, what scale I use, what chord progressions to use, what inversions I can do. Like, it's all there, kind of call it like the theory Bible. I don't want to offend anyone. I am Catholic too, so I feel I'm allowed to use that. But it's like the theory Bible. It's all there. Why I love it. Also, save money in the long run. So yes, it's $35 up front. And not only should you not be buying it, your family should be paying for it. And then you let them know they will never have to buy another theory book again. And I calculated, I was like, if a theory book is like $10 and they do one every year and they're with you for like over 10 years, like, that's a lot of money. That's more than the 35. So they are saving. So that's my little spiel on that. Not sequential, and it's adaptable to any method book series you're using. So I just like that. I just like the adaptable side of it. It's not, so you'll be learning a piece in a method book and you're like, oh, this is covering these chord progressions, or it's covering this scale, or it's covering this chord. And then I was like, okay, let's go learn it in the Cascade book, right? And side thing, I know I didn't write this in my slides anywhere, but so many times kids come home from school and they have their lessons and they're like, Tara, can we just do the Cascade book today? And I'm like, you're asking to do, yes, of course we could just do the Cascade book, no problem. They love it. And they don't feel like it's theory. I'm not personally a fan of testing and doing levels. That's why I love that April and I are doing this, because we have very different approaches. And there are so many teachers out there that love RCM and love the testing, and parents and kids that love that. So that is their alley. And I'm in my own little bubble. And so that's why this is great. So we have a little bit for both. Yes, my non-notes approach. I'm sure you noticed when I was scrolling, there's not really a lot of stuff with real notes, like reading on the staff. And that's because I want the students just to be able to approach theory, just looking at the piano, understanding it. And hold on, so for example, Sawyer, he obviously, this was like the second lesson. I'm gonna actually share this. I'm gonna play it. Okay, let's try. First improv on lesson number 3. Okay, 1 second. And obviously he doesn't know how to read notes. No, that's not the one I want to do. I'm sorry. Here. I won't play the whole thing. Any white notes will work. This is like second or third lesson. We're making music. That's all they want to do. Oh, that's Carol Bells. Anyway, so that's why I like this approach, is because I will show them a scale in the book, and I will get to that question that someone asked. And we just write it out, and they see what notes they're allowed to play, and then we just go to the piano and we play it. And that's great for little kids. That way they can make music. That's all they want to do. That's why they come to us. They just want to play. So you may have noticed not many words or direction in my book either. And that's literally why I created my course, because of this book. Because I didn't want to put all these words and directions, because that would throw kids off. They'd be like, they have to read stuff. They don't want to read. They just want to be told what to do. So that's where the teacher comes in, and you tell them what to do and what the concept is and what to fill in. But that's why I created my course, where I literally go through the entire book. Let's see if I can get here. Oopsie, went too far. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to give you a sneak peek into my course if it loads. Share screen. This back and forth is tricky. Okay, I'm going to go to teacher login. And here. Just so you can see. So what I did is I created 2 modules. I broke it down to like the easier pages, the ones I go to first when I start with a student, and then I do the harder pages. A lot of the harder pages are similar to the easy ones, but they have harder concepts. And then I also did put just different, pages that have nothing to do with like the first module. Anyway, it's coming. It's probably slow because of Zoom. Today would be good. So yeah, so once it loads, I have a unit for each page, and I've done videos on how I teach those concepts to kids. And it walks you through, and you can do it with your students, and it would be great if it loaded. Maybe it doesn't want to load. Okay, I'm just gonna let it load for a second, and I'll just keep going with the slides. I'll just show you some things that are in. Okay, so for example, I have the whole page for major inversions, for major inversions. This is one of the videos, but I've done it for C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Same thing for G major, for scales, for chord progressions, for figuring out, I have my method for figuring out how many sharps. There's the traditional method, but I made up my own method. Anyway, I know we're tight on time, so I'm gonna actually just keep scrolling. Theory book playlist. So I don't like forcing my method or my course on people. So you have the option of, I have a playlist, and I can give you guys the link. I can send that out tomorrow. where I just do a quick overview. There's like 83 videos. It's just quick 2 to 5 minute overview of how I do the page. But my course just goes so much more in depth. But if you wanted to buy the book, you could just go and check out the videos in this playlist, and it would just tell you kind of what to do. So here's Tessa. Here's how I fill out the scales. She is 15 now. And so there is a video, but for time purposes, I'm just going to do this. So in each little wave, I write out the scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, or I have them write it out. The little dots above are the finger numbers for the right hand, and below are the left. So then they can visually see it, which is great for little kids. But I've done this with older kids that like come to me and they don't know anything about theory, and they just pick up scales like that. So that's how I fill that page out. And if she could do it with her right hand, the other page, the little bubbles, she gets to color it in, and left hand and so forth. The little star would be like if she can do the scale hands together. This is Tessa still. She enrolled in a theory music class in school, and I'm just gonna keep going. I know we're time. I did like we did the circle of fifths together, and I made a boom deck for circle of fifths that we did together too during our lesson. And I want to redo this. So this is what Tessa's mom said to me like a couple weeks ago. My daughter has played piano for several years, but it wasn't until she met Tara that she actually started to enjoy piano. And she'd been on my wait list for years, but then Matt lost his job, and I was like, I need to take on these students, so I took her on. It used to be a chore for Tessa to practice piano, but after working with Tara just a few lessons, her love of music and the piano truly blossomed. I now actually have to tell her to stop playing the piano and go to bed. After working with Tara, Tessa has decided to enroll in the music program at her high school. We've tried 3 different piano teachers before we met Tara, and she was a game changer for my daughter. I highly recommend Tara and wish I'd found her sooner. So Tessa literally also teaches for my school. It took 1 year for her, 6 months. And then she started teaching. She loves pop songs. She loves theory. She literally has, for like 4 months, we've been just doing theory in our lessons, like one piece with notes and then theory. And she told me, she's like, my mom used to beg me to get off, or she begged me to go practice. And she's like, now it's 10 p.m. and she begs me to get off the piano. This is Caitlin. She has been with me for a while. This is my super old book. We're going through 7th chords. I won't play the videos. This was September. She's like taller than me. That was our first time seeing each other again after COVID. It's like, what happened? This is Laura. She is in my course. You guys might know her from Instagram. I've been making good headway through the training these last 2 weeks, feeling on a roll. And Natalie, her daughter, is loving the theory book. I couldn't find a picture. She put one in, I'll like scroll in stories, and I saw it. I was like, oh, that's my theory book. Oh, that's Laura. Oh, that's Natalie. So that was really cute. And she's starting to incorporate boom cards in her lessons. Okay, I'm going fast. Boom cards. I have them in my program. It is the closest thing I can create to an app. I wanted to do an app forever for my book. And that would be really expensive. And now there's boom cards, and it makes me so happy. So I am creating literally boom cards for each page. Oh, the other thing I was saying that I missed, I don't know if you guys see on the little side, how there's no notes in not a lot of notes in the theory book. That's because I am planning on doing a million books related to the theory book. So that one chords page, I turned into an 80-page chords book that addresses chords and notes and everything. That's what I want to do for scales and inversions and chord progressions. Like, my list is endless, but that is, anyway, that's side note. Okay, but I am creating boom cards for each page. Like if you go through the chords page, there's gonna be all sorts of different chord boom cards that you can do to reinforce that, or same thing for scales. All that stuff. So I have a really, really big surprise coming up really, really soon. Okay, this is the boom cards unit. Obviously I can't log in right now with Zoom. It's not letting me, so it's fine. But teachers in my program have access to every single boom card I make. And every time I make a new one, I add it in there and have it, and it's part of the certification. Mary, who is here today, this is one of the first messages. She was one of the first teachers to sign up for my program and be completely certified. And she goes, love being part of this program and so happy I saw on Instagram. You are so great at what you're doing. I'm almost 70. I think you are 70 now. You just had your birthday recently. You've inspired me to do something out of my comfort zone, and it's great. And she feels like family. Like we will meet in person one day. And if I had her speak right now, she would rave about Cascade method. Like I'm so flattered, and I love you, Mary. Thank you so much for all your support. Here, this another one from you. I'm just going to keep going, but yeah, she has the Cascade method. Okay, just to read. Has been a great week using Cascade method. Over half my students now have the book. I had one student, 15-year-old with Asperger's, never talks, did his chord rolls in 20 seconds. See, kids just love being timed. Love the playlist. It's another thing I do. Student wrote her first song, CDE. I've noticed students are not struggling with their note names as much. So that's because of my piano tool note match here. Anyway, thank you for your time and many teaching ideas. And Mary, thank you. Sharon, she is another teacher. She's in Australia. She's in my program. She is also helping actually sell note match in my theory book. She's actually doing a whole course on theory with kids and using the book, which is the coolest thing ever. Okay, we're almost done. I did something crazy last night. So I don't like imposing my whole course on people. Like there's stuff for everybody. So I literally extracted my 2 units that cover my theory book. So those of you, because obviously we're covering just theory today, if you're interested in just this whole theory thing, I extracted it. And so this is the deal I want to give you guys today. So I'm calling it Modern Theory Pro, and it's a mini course. It's just extracting my theory stuff. And I'm putting 2 huge bonuses in this little course, which is all my decks I've made so far in Boom. So you get my 50 decks, and you get the PDF of my theory book. So if you're teaching online, that's gold. And then you can always print any page you need for any student if you're doing it in person. Tomorrow it'll be $350. Tonight I'm taking $100 off. So if you by midnight join this little course, it'll be $250. And literally the Boom cards alone is over $100 if you bought all my things. My theory book, the studio license, I only sell for $50, even though it should be more. So literally it's like you're buying a course for $100, which is nothing. And then the Boom cards pays for itself, like just with that. Anyway, so that's what I did last night, and I couldn't sleep because I was so excited because I really think that this would be super valuable for you guys. So I will share the link when I stop sharing. But for those of you who maybe don't have that money to spend, which I totally understand, I have a theory code for you, Theory 25. It will take 25% off the real book, the physical one. So I'll add that in the chat, and then emails to come from us tomorrow. Okay, I know. April, take it away.
Well, you're a hard act to follow. Jeepers. Okay, so I'm just going to dive right into my share screen. I'm going to make sure I share the right one. Hang on one second. This one. Okay, so hello and welcome. I know that we've covered that already a little bit earlier this evening, but I am just so excited to have everyone here, and I'm excited to share with all of you the details about my Presto Theory program and how it can help not only your students, but your studios, and just make teaching theory simple, fun, effective, and avoiding the reteaching, which is the story of my life. Okay, so here's a little bit about me. I started piano at the age of 3, and yes, this is a picture of me at my local music festival. I was in the paper at the time for being the youngest competitor. I'm not sure if I still hold that title, but I would like to think so. For as long as I can remember, music has always been such a big part of my life. Any opportunity that I had to join choir, music group, anything like that, I did. At the age of 14, I played the keyboard in my local youth group band, and at the age of 18, I actually became our church pianist. In high school, I was a member of all the bands: jazz band, concert band, junior, senior bands. I played and sang in coffee houses. I was a part of our school's production of West Side Story in my senior year, where I played Anita. I then went on to study music at Rocky Mountain College in Calgary, Alberta. And in college, I sang as an alto in the concert choir and had the opportunity to perform at many venues all over the city while I was there. I had the privilege of studying under the direction of Hendrik Edestrom, and through him, I had the opportunity to travel Western Canada and the Western United States with our choir group. For as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to teach. Not really knowing exactly what, but I knew I always wanted to teach. And then after attending Rocky Mountain College, I knew that I wanted to teach music. I also volunteer as music director for Streetlight Theatre Company here in Pembroke. And since volunteering in 2017, I have been the music director for 2 of their productions thus far, Beauty and the Beast Jr. and Into the Woods Jr. Having music be such a big part of my life, it's amazing. And I want to be able to convey that to my students as well. I've always felt the power of music. I've had the opportunity to teach for almost 20 years now and counting, and it's just been an absolute blessing. I'm passionate about teaching and watching my students grow and develop their musical abilities, and I want them to love music, and I just want them to have the confidence to sit down at the piano and to play their favorite songs, and to be able to also have the proper music education if they then choose to do that as a career later on. As a beginner student, I started with no theory, and not that there's anything wrong with that. I think because I started with an element of play in those early years, which is probably what made me love it so much. It wasn't until I was in my mid-teens and moved to another teacher that I then started doing theory. So I was already in about RCM grade 3 by the time I was introduced to my new to theory and to my new teacher. And my new teacher was a little bit disappointed that I hadn't had any theory background up until this point, right? Because she knew that I had missed out on so much music education that would be able to help me further my knowledge. So, not to mention my mom was a little bit upset too, right? Because paying for lessons all these years and not saying that it had to be done, but not even being given the opportunity to know that that other element of music was out there and offered to me, right? It was just non-existent in my earlier years. So mom was a little bit upset about that I wasn't exposed to everything that I could have been. So as a teacher now, I want to be able to give my students and my studio families the option when it comes to theory. I want to be able to show them that, here's where you can go with theory, and if you choose not to, then it's just a different path, right? But I want to be able to give them both options so that they can make that choice for themselves. So, why? I call my program Presto Theory. So why did I create this program? When I transitioned into online lessons, enter COVID, theory was by far the hardest thing to explain over a Zoom lesson. I needed a better option so that my students wouldn't fall behind, because at that time it felt like we were never going back to one-on-one lessons. So I needed to get creative to offer a service to keep my students going and engaged with practical, but also theory. I needed something that would keep them on the right path without losing momentum, and to keep learning what they needed to keep up with their practical lessons. So, and in doing this Presto Theory program, in turn, it has allowed me so many things, so many options for my full 30-minute lessons. So right now, some of my students are doing 3 to 4 songs per lesson. We have time for those. We are doing sight reading in almost every single lesson, which was almost non-existent whenever I was teaching one-on-one and in person. We're able to cover all of the scales that go with each different grade level of music, and we're able to do some fun chording sheets, which I like to call my dessert songs. So we're able to do those as well. And we make reference to the theory all the time in those other components, but we're not taking time from the practical lesson to do the theory and kind of avoiding doing both within one sitting. I like to keep them separate. So, Presto Theory, what is it? Presto Theory is a program that I've designed for my students to learn theory outside of the practical lesson. The program is built of step-by-step video tutorials that are easy to follow. They require almost no assistance, meaning the kids can understand the material with very little added help. I tend to be an over-explainer, which is beneficial for these types of lessons because I go into great detail explaining how to do the work. And they guarantee wonderful results. I have seen great results from my students taking these courses. In my own studio, my studio parents love this new way of learning, and they love it because there's no extra travel, there's no extra additional lesson time needed to do just the theory component, and I know that teachers love it because now they can dedicate 100% of their lesson time to the practical lesson time itself. And you can stay on schedule, right? For those of, I was always behind on my lessons because I'm trying to fit everything in a 30 or 45 minute lesson, and sometimes there's just not enough time. So with this new program, it helps me stay on schedule. So here's what some people are saying about my Presto Theory. Carly is a mother of a student of mine, and this student has completed both her prep and her grade 1 theory since COVID began. So my daughter takes piano lessons from April, and last year she began doing her theory using videos created by April. We both love this format. Macy, who is her daughter, could go on at her own pace, pause or rewind the video when needed. As a parent, I loved it because it enabled me to help if needed, and I could watch the videos too. And I love that we could fit theory into our schedule, and it left more time for practice during the lesson. This mom has also said to me, just in our conversations back and forth, she's like, even whenever we do go back to one-on-one lessons, I want my theory to be continued to be delivered in this manner because it's just so much better. I get to help her if she's stuck on something, and there's just no wait until your next lesson to ask your teacher kind of thing. Then my other testimonial is from a student, and this is Holly. Holly came to me from another teacher, and she had no theory background. She was kind of like me whenever I was younger, zero theory experience. So needless to say, she had no interest whenever I first introduced theory to her. We would spend almost the entire practical lesson time teaching theory, because she would come to her lessons and say, okay, I don't understand this. I don't remember how to do this, and so on. So we would spend our 30-minute lesson times doing theory, which nothing wrong with that, but then she had nothing new to practice at home. So her parents were starting to wonder, right? Like, why is she still playing the same songs and not improving and not adding whenever she's had 2 or 3 lessons now, right? Well, it's because we were taking up that lesson time to cover the theory. She was able to do these programs and go at it at her own pace and understand the material, which helped her huge in her playing. Now that she's at grade 4, we talk about her theory and we make reference and we cross-reference those different concepts all the time, and it's just like those light bulb moments are fantastic, right? She knows that she just understands it. She has completed, so from going from 0 theory, she has completed grades 1 through 4 in under 3 years and understands everything, right? Like, she's getting ready to do her grade 5 certification next fall, which is crazy coming from where she came from. I'm so proud of her. So you may be wondering, why do I need this? I already use RCM, I already have my curriculum in place, but how is this program going to help my studio? Well, theory and Presto Theory isn't designed for one type of student. I feel like it's beneficial for many, and these are some of the different reasons that I've come up with, right? So maybe you are an established teacher and you're looking for more opportunities for your students without putting in more time. Maybe you're like me. Maybe you teach the theory and you're reteaching it every lesson, right? And when we have multiple students, half an hour back to back and back to back, and let's say 4 of them are in the same theory book, you're having sometimes to reteach those same concepts lesson after lesson after lesson, right? And sometimes, I know for me, it just gets frustrating to be reteaching it all the time. So this program is a way that you're able to avoid that reteach, and have your students be able to do it and watch the video a couple of times. If they say, oh, I don't remember how to do this, they go in, they watch the video, and they say, oh, well, she did it this way. And I'll show you guys, I have a clip of how my program actually works. So, but it just avoids the reteaching. So maybe you have students that are eventually looking to take their RCM exams. Keep in mind that even though this curriculum is exam based, I don't always do exams with my students. This is just a great curriculum to learn theory. I really, really enjoy the RCM curriculum, and I like how it goes with the books as well, right? Everything is really, really intertwined and related, and it's great. But if you've got those students, if you know that you have those students who are looking to take their exams, but they don't have any of their preliminary components, this is great. Maybe you're a new teacher and you want to offer theory, but you're feeling overwhelmed and you're not sure where to start, right? These programs can be a great starting place for you and your students. Maybe you have adult students who are interested in theory, knowing a little bit more about the why of music, but you don't have time to dedicate another lesson for those adult students. And maybe adult students don't want to be a part of your theory groups with your younger students, which is totally understandable. This is a great program. My aunt has actually done all of my theory programs. She takes music online with another teacher, and she wanted to have a little bit of background and understand the theory. So she's taken these courses and she loves it. Maybe you want to refresh your memory, right? Maybe it's been a little while since you've done this, curriculum, and you want to try using it again. And before you introduce it to your students, you want to get to know the curriculum a little bit, right? So you can kind of refresh your memory. Maybe you've got students looking to get ahead, like what Holly did, right? During the summer months. Each lesson, each program is only 12 lessons. So they can go at it at their own pace. Not necessarily that it's 12 weeks long, but they could do a lesson every day if they wanted to, right? And just, I don't know, my opinion, it's great for every student because every student in my studio uses it, and it's great. So maybe you're wondering, okay, well, I want to get started. I love this concept, love this idea, April. Tell me what to do. So you only need 2 things. Your students need 2 things. They need the book, and they need a decent internet connection. Done deal. I do mention a couple of times on the videos where we need a highlighter and a pencil because I do go through the material with them, so they can kind of follow along, but it's just this easy. And on every sales page on the book itself, there's a link to purchase the book. So I've made it super easy, super convenient for parents to navigate through the sales page to find out what to do. But yeah, this is it. They need the books and they need a decent internet connection, and that's it. Okay, here are some questions that I've had along the way. So what if you have a student and they have questions? Comments are enabled on every course module. So every course or every lesson that they go through, at the bottom there's a comment section. And I've had students before where they type in their comments, an email comes to me, and I'm able to respond. I've gotten very good at being able to respond right directly on the email and on the chat itself. If there is a concept where something's not clicking, you, the teacher, your student, and myself, I am more than happy to hop on a Zoom meet and we can chat about the material that way too to help reinforce that knowledge. What age is a good age to start? Personally, I've had students as young as 6 start with the preparatory level, but as we all know, different books, different programs are all based on each individual child, so that'll be up to you. And I do actually have a link that I'll include in the description of this replay that you can take a quiz to find out which level is best suited for your student. Where do I buy the books? So books are available at most retailers, and I'm sure as we are all music teachers, you've got your spots where you buy your books. You can also message me to find out if there's promo codes in your area. I know where I am. I have some promo codes with some of the music studios or music stores, in my area, and they sell the books, and they've given me some promo codes to use. So, and I know they do ship as well, so we can look into that. Can we start anytime? Yes, absolutely. And when your students purchase the course, lifetime access. The courses, each book is 12 lessons, but once they have the course, it is theirs. Can we watch the videos more than once? Yes, absolutely. Like Carly had mentioned for her daughter Macy. Rewind, replay, watch it again. Make sure that you're watching it as many times as necessary to be able to understand the material. But I don't think we need to watch it a lot because, like I said, I'm an over-explainer and I want my students to be able to understand and know what to do. So I don't think there's much of that happens on the course. Okay, here's a little instructional video, a little clip as to how my program works. So this is taken from my grade 1 grade 1 book. So let's just do a little play here.
You could go, so let's try the first one here, from a white key to a white key. So see here, white key to a white key. That would be considered a whole step. Let's see. Orange says from a white key to a black key, right? So here, from a white key to then a black key, because then I have a C that I'm skipping over to make my whole step. Okay? In here is going to be from a black key to a white key. So this black key,
Boop. Sorry, didn't mean to do that.
Right? These are different to then a black. Okay?
Just fast forward a little bit.
This black key, I could go backwards to here because I'm skipping over this note here to make it a whole step. And the blue one here, from a black key to another black key. So for example, I would go from this black key up and over to this black key because then I have this white one that's left open in between them.
So a lot of the time during my instruction, I'm using different colors, different stickers, different things on the share screen so that for each different concept or each different question or part of the question that we're going through, it's a different color, so it helps them navigate through a little bit easier. I'm just going to go on a little bit further to the next page, and then you can see that I'm actually doing some of the questions with them to help them understand. Okay, let's do the first few together, and then I'll say, okay, pause the video. Now it's your turn to complete the exercise. So I'll just let you listen a little bit more.
E flat. A whole step above E flat. So you're going to want to use that keyboard from a little bit higher up. I'll clear this here so I can see, so I can go up, right? So you're going to want to use this keyboard to help you. So here's B flat, right? This black key right here. A whole step above would not be the B. It would be skipping the B and then going to the next one, right? So what note would be a whole step above a B flat? A C, right? So down here, let's go back. So B flat. A whole step above would be a C. So then now I draw in where my C would go, right? F.
Right, so you can see that I've annotated, I've shown them what to do, and then I've written in the note for them on the first, and I will do that I'll do like a first, the first 3 exercises with them, and then I'll say, okay, now pause the video and finish this. Or sometimes I'll say, stop the video here for today, right? Because once I know they finish those exercises, it's going to take some time. I don't want to encourage them to like just keep going and get through the entire video. I'll say, okay, stop here for today, finish this page, and then come back tomorrow, kind of thing. Just a really slow, gradual approach so that they can do it properly, they can understand how to do it, and then it's just like little bits at a time. All right, let's go back. So now here is what I have for you guys as a special offer for being here. So I'm going to go to my next screen. All right, so here is the best part. Not only do I want your students to succeed, just like mine have, but I want to give you as teachers the boom decks that I've created for you to use with your studio students. So I'm getting excited. Are you getting excited? What I want you to do is I'm going to include a link in the chat, and this will bring you to a landing page. Fill in your info, and once you've filled in your info, you will be sent a unique promo code just for you and your students. So each studio or each teacher is going to be given their own personal unique promo code so that you can distribute that to your students. So with that promo code, what that's going to do is that's going to give each one of your students 10% off the course that they buy. And as an added thank you for you, then the teacher, you're going to receive my complete boom deck. So for example, if your student purchases the Prep Theory, Presto Theory course, okay, I'm going to go over to my next slide. These are the boom cards that they will receive and that you will receive to go with the concepts from that book, right? So when we're doing missing notes, I'm not including missing notes in this boom deck with different rhythms and different note values that they don't know yet. Everything is based on what they're doing in that particular book and at that particular level. So it's really geared to reinforce the material and have them kind of get that sense of like, I got it, right? Those light bulb moments are just super fantastic, and my boom cards are all geared and made for each different level of theory specifically. So link is included, and this is just my way of showing like thank you, and I know that it works, right? Maybe I seem like I'm giving everything away, but I know that my program, my Presto Theory program works, and I want to be able to offer it to teachers and students so that we can just give our students the best musical education that they deserve, right? So I'm super excited to be able to help you guys and help your students just expand their musical knowledge. Okay, so that's my presentation. I'm going to join you guys back in the chat. Oh, now if I can figure out how to stop my share. There we go. So that is my course and what I've created for my students, and I know it works. So I want to be able to just have you guys know that it works too, right? It's just, I don't know. We need to be helping each other out. We need to be supporting each other. The music teacher world is huge, but it's actually small, right? So if we can all work together and help each other out, anyway, that just excites me to be able to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, we've included some links there. So I just want to encourage everybody to just feel free, have a look, reach out if you have any questions, whether it be on social media, email, whatever it might be, right? We would love to hear from you guys and just build our community even more.
I'm so glad that some of the faces, like I just now they saw you guys live today. So happy.
Yeah, no, this has been great.
Love it.
Phew.
Okay.
First one done. Thank you so much for being here for me, you guys. This has been awesome. Yeah. Okay. So I haven't been able to check the chat, so I'm going to do that.
You're all good. Before we forget, I know we can do questions, but questions, or should we give the winner thingy? I gotta keep my brain is fried.
Let's do the winner. So the way that I did it, it's the wheel of names. I'm going to share my screen again with you guys. Everybody that signed up is on this wheel. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try and share my screen, but have it be like a minimal to still be able to see you guys. I just don't know if that's possible.
I see everyone on the side still.
But I can't see the chat.
Oh, okay.
Hang on 1 second. Let me see if I can figure it out. I don't think I can, but anyway.
Oh, here.
Okay, so maybe what we'll do is I'll spin it, and then
you see the chat on the bottom? Can you click chat? It might just pop on top of your screen.
Like this. Can you guys see that?
No, we don't see your chat.
Ooh, okay, I can see the chat now. You're so smart. Thank you. All right, so here we go. So if you are here, you can put a little message in the chart and say, yay, or in the chat and say, yay, that's me. So Tara, go ahead and explain your giveaway, sorry.
Oh, my giveaway is my theory book.
That's right.
One. So I will send it to the winner.
Nice. And mine is going to be my boom cards. Okay, so we get boom cards and a book. So we've got one for each. So here we go.
Who are we doing first? You or me?
Me.
Okay.
All right, so for my boom deck, it'll pop up who it is. Jenna! Oh, Janessa, I guess. Now, is Janessa here?
Yes.
Yes?
Right? Yes?
I don't know. I'm waiting for the chat to pop up. So, Janessa, if you're here, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong.
Is it? It's you, Adriana, right? Or is it? Are you another Adriana?
I can't chat. It's not letting me.
Okay, like but it's you. It's you, right?
It's me. It's me.
Is it you?
Yeah.
Yay! Okay, so I'm gonna write that down. And then, okay, so Adriana. Perfect. So congratulations. All right, so we'll remove you. And here we go.
Drum roll. Ooh, who is this? Oh,
are we here? Desiree, I'm assuming. Is that what it is?
Yeah, and I know her from Instagram. I don't think you've seen her.
I'm waiting for the chat. I don't see anything.
I don't think she's here.
Okay, so we'll remove. Let's go again.
Oh.
Yay, Kelly! I know you're here tonight because I saw you pop in.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so Kelly, that's the book. That's Tara's book. Okay, let's close. Let's stop share and come back. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead back through the chat and just see if there's any questions.
Because if you guys missed it and you want to watch the replay and all that stuff, like, I don't want you guys to miss out on that.
Yeah, okay. There's a lot of information, so we were kind of both talking a mile a minute.
I can't wait to pick up Jordan, and don't judge me when I'm going to have a glass of wine. Yes. I deserve it. Especially also after being happy.
Yay, Patricia's got her wine. Yes, me too. And now I will take a drink. Cheers, everybody. Thank you so much for coming.
Can I ask Tara a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Trish.
Do you ever get any prospective students squawking about the price of having to get everything at the beginning? Like the note match, the beginner book?
No, rarely. But I live in a really expensive area, so the parents just kind of do it. I do get sometimes they're like, oh, this is so much. I'm like, your kids will be so set up and they will not stop piano after a week or two. They will literally just keep playing. Like, you're investing in your kid and they will love piano. It's worth it.
I had prospective student. Their eyes rolled when I told them how much note match is. Well, in Canada, the prices are different, right? They're higher
Yes.
than down there. So,
And if that's too much, you can always say, we can break it down over 3 months, the price. And
okay.
just be like, okay, this is what it'll cost them, but like, I'll break it down into your tuition. So it's less overwhelming.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Cheers.
Yeah. Future cheers. Any other questions? Christina, yeah, go ahead. Unmute. Let me see.
Can I do it? Okay.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah.
So mine isn't really a question. I first just wanted to thank you guys both for putting that together. That was a wonderful presentation. I know that took a lot from both of you, so that was wonderful. And so going back to that first concept, I think I'm one of the newbies in the poll chat that I said I just opened my studio last year, and I'm actually a licensed speech therapist. And so I got into music. I studied voice disorders and kind of got into music that way, and I've always played piano since I was 5 years old or whatnot, and decided to take that leap of faith, open my own studio last year. But going back to that concept about getting the kids involved in like the chords and the improv right away, and just a really good theory book, I loved that because I think that's what has grown my studio so quickly. It's just, getting kids to fall in love with music is the biggest thing. Like when I was in lessons, again, started at 5 years old, I was trained classically, things like that. I'm still in lessons with a good friend who has her doctorate in music in Morgantown. But the biggest thing for me, I grew my studio in less than a year. I had 30 students. I think I have like 45, 50 on my wait list right now. And one, that's by the grace of God for me personally. But two was just getting them to fall in love with the music, like you were saying. And when you do those chords, they are so motivated by it. And I've had the same testimonies where it's like, wow, like instead of just always sitting at the piano, like incorporate those hands-on experiences and the learning, and, not be afraid to put the games with it. And that's what I feel like has been kind of keeping my studio. I didn't think I could do that. And in less than a year, I'm pretty much with full-time students, but I love both of your methods. I think it's so important to have the theory plus the hands-on. And the biggest thing from it is it's just like, get them to fall in love with music, right? Like get them to fall in love with music. And like my slogan is play to convey, like what music means to you. So whether it's classical, whether it's the chords and improv, I even teach a songwriting course. I have a worship background. And so I just think that's great. And I really appreciated both of your presentations. I'm definitely going to look into that. So thank you.
Cool. Thank you for being here.
Wow. Yeah, no, if they love playing, it makes your life so easy. We barely have to do anything. You just you're coaching them through. Thank you, Princess.
Yeah.
I so agree. Anyone else?
Was there another one? Just looking through.
I need to ask, is it Alician? How do you say your name? Oh, unmute. So I'm gonna unmute you. Or, do you see?
Like me?
Yes, you. How do you say your name?
It's Allison, but just
Allison. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just like Alicia.
I get it all the time, but anyways, it's Allison.
Allison. Okay, easier. Good.
There you go. Now you know.
Now I know. No, because like people sometimes call me Tara, and I don't walk around being like, "Oh, my name is Tara. My name is Tara." Like.
Yep. I have the same problem. I get like Alician or
all
but Allison. So yeah.
Any other questions?
Okay, any other questions?
I think that's it. Okay, well, we will get the replay up and running so that if you didn't get the beginning, you will get that.
Yeah, we'll do our best, and then we'll send it out to everybody, and we'll be in touch to our winners. But yeah, we've included some links there, so I just want to encourage everybody to just feel free, have a look, reach out if you have any questions, whether it be on social media, email, whatever it might be, right? We would love to hear from you guys and just build our community even more.
I'm so glad that some of the faces, like I just now they saw you guys live today. So happy.
Yeah, no, this has been great.
Love it.
Phew.
Okay.
First one done. Thank you so much for being here for me, you guys. This has been awesome.
I'm gonna sleep so good tonight.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully Jordan sleeps through the night too, so that I can actually sleep. Love it. Speaking of which, I have to go pick him up.
Yeah, no, this is great. All right, so I'm going to
So
go
thank
ahead.
you so much, everyone, and we will see you on Instagram or in our emails.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.